Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful Florida. And today our question comes to us from Vlad Kvitvo. And Vlad has a question about several popular stereotypes. And Vlad's question is it true that witches fly on brooms? Can one actually have a dragon on the earth plane? And is it possible for a person to throw lightning bolts? And I'm going to start my answer to this by upsetting the easily upset and quoting from Harry Potter. And there is a scene in Harry Potter where Harry has been talking to the spirit of the dead Dumbledore. And he says to the spirit, "Professor, is this real or is it all in my head?" And the professor responds, "Well, of course it's all in your head, Harry, but why would you think that means it isn't real?" And I quote this because in this question, as well as that situation, it's all in how you look at it and what you mean. If you're talking about these three stereotypes in a literal sense, well, no, there's no truth to any of them. If, on the other hand, you're talking about them in more esoteric terms, the answer is somewhat different. Is it true that witches actually fly on brooms? Well, no, there are no such things as actual flying brooms. However, there is such a thing as astral travel and such a thing as shamanic journeying. And the idea of witches flying, whether on brooms or in sieves or with bits of straw or broken egg, all of which featured in medieval mythology, comes from that practice of astral travel and shamanic journeying, which are very real things. However, it has nothing to do with physical flight and nothing to do with actual flying brooms. And can you have an actual dragon on the earth plane? Well, most people who say they work with dragons mean they're working with a kind of spirit that manifests in the form of a dragon. And we've done vlogs on this subject before in greater detail. But to make it simple, I would simply say, no, there's not a physical dragon that you're going to encounter on the earth plane. But there are spirits who take that form to work with people. And people do actually sometimes work with dragons in that sense. And they can manifest to the same extent that any other spirit can, which does not mean they're going to be appearing before you, but it does mean that they can have certain actual effects in the world. And finally, can a person actually throw a lightning bolt? Well, in a literal sense, of course not. However, most people who practice magic work with energy in many different ways. The natural energy of the body, the energy of the universe. And when you're working to develop the energy of the body, if you work with it in certain ways, you can project it outside of your body. And when people talk about throwing a lightning bolt, that's what they're actually talking about, and it is an actual technique. It's not a common technique, but it's an actual one. So, are these actual things, these three stereotypes? Well, no, they're not, and yes, they are. And both answers are true at the same time, depending on how you're looking at them. And this is true of many things in metaphysics, and my general advice to people is before you either accept or deny an idea, make sure you understand what the idea actually is and not necessarily what it looks like, because there's often a difference. So, those are my thoughts for today. I hope you find them interesting, and until next time, may you blessed be. Pray for peace. Pray for love. Pray for stability. Pray for the nation where you live. Pray for the world. Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from witchschool.com. Are you looking for the best in pagan and magical education? With more than 12,000 pages, witchschool.com is like having your own personal library with individual learning assistants to help you study. And Witchschool's Anyone, Anytime, Anywhere education system is available any place on earth, anywhere you are and anytime you want it, as long as you have an internet connection. Witchschool's lifetime memberships are a great value. They really do last a lifetime. They've been there for years and they'll be there for years to come. So get your membership today at witchschool.com.